Don't you worry, the clip's about to begin, but don't forget to subscribe. Or else, don't make me turn this website around.
All right. Oh, I'm not going to pronounce this name correctly. It's Zephaniah? Okay, I'm gonna have to ask
Zephaniah sounds biblical.
Zephaniah.
You got
This
it
is an
right.
atheist, though. Zephaniah? Did I
Yeah.
do it? Awesome. Hi.
Yeah,
Hi,
that's right.
Zephaniah. What would you like to talk about today?
Yeah. Well, first off, I didn't pick my name. My parents obviously were religious. It's an Old Testament name, so
I
Vice
had no
Rhino's
issue with your
right
name.
when he's saying it's Zephaniah. Sounds biblical. It is.
What would you like to discuss, my friend?
I was calling specifically in regards to relationships.
Okay.
I think that there's kind of a missed aspect. I obviously was raised Christian and grew up Christian, and I got married, and this is maybe too much of my personal experience, but we're both conservative Christians, and we actually have 7 kids together.
Wow. That is so many kids.
Yeah. So then I end up, questioning my faith and eventually pursuing science and moving away from, Christianity or organized religion in general. And of course, she's still a believer. And I think that it's, it's very difficult to even understand how to approach that situation,
Where she still believes and you don't?
Yeah.
And how it pertains to the kids?
Specifically with the way that we're talking, here. Obviously, in our relationship, I have a different perspective and viewpoint than she does. And
Right.
it's one of the most difficult topics to, bring up or have in casual conversation without, people getting emotional or shutting down. And,
Okay.
when this is specifically me dealing with my wife, she's the primary person that I'm talking to on these questions. When I say, if prayer is effective, why don't we see more people healed? I'm asking that question, and I'm asking it legitimately, and the person I'm asking is my wife. And then it goes further and further. It's whatever the issue is that I'm working through at the moment. She ends up being my immediate contact. And what I feel like is that there's this sort of disconnect. I understand that, especially in a Christian upbringing, the man, is the one that's in charge. And
Okay.
if I'm trying to deconvert my wife, I can just tell her I don't want to deal with any of this Christian stuff anymore, and that's it. And that be our discussion. But I'm not looking to end our relationship. I want to continue it. We're connected whether we want to or not at this point.
Yeah. Well, I'd say, like, number one, like you said, you're not trying to deconvert her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that I would agree with that. That's the right way to go, because it kind of ties into the call we had earlier, where like trying to deconvert someone would be trying to affect their behaviors and beliefs without necessarily having their consent. But like I would personally say, like, choose the line in the sand that you don't necessarily want to, like taking the kids to church, probably okay, like as long as it's not like an IFB church or something.
Yeah, don't take them to that church.
Yeah, no.
Don't let that happen.
I would fight that very hard if that were the case. But like, so like for discipline, if there's spanking going on, I personally consider spanking to be a form of child abuse. So that would not be something that, like for me, that would be beyond religion. There, and like I think there might be more, but there's only one Bible verse that I'm aware of that even talks about that. So like, it'd be really easy to emphasize the, like, all the New Testament Paul stuff of like correcting people with love and care and gentleness or whatever, as opposed to that one that says spare the rod, spoil the child. It is. That's not the phrasing. That's the common colloquial translation of it. But but
well,
like
the reason,
I guess. Sorry.
The reason I'm calling is not necessarily because I feel like I'm at a loss and need advice, but this is something that's been 2 years, maybe longer, that's been kind of developing, and I feel like that if if you're honest and open and legitimately want to continue the relationship, and these are two people that are genuinely interested in being together and understanding each other, it's not unreasonable to expect that you can have an outcome where you come to an agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that.
Like there are a number of couples I can think of, like Seth Andrews and his wife. His wife, he is the thinking atheist. His wife is a Christian who still goes to church.
Mm-hmm.
I know Josh and Megan of Digital Hammurabi. Megan is a Christian. Josh is an atheist. So it can work. Absolutely.
I just feel like that people are way too quick to throw away. Like for me, I literally worked. Like I was depressed and upset, and I wanted to be married to my current wife so badly when I was a young teenager before we started our relationship. And it seems like so many people are ready to throw away all of that like so quickly because, and I know that religion is an important thing, but when you've developed this relationship with an individual, I mean, it's just, it seems really silly to me to be ready to throw that away over something that, I mean, comparatively, I think it seems less significant.
You have to keep in mind, though, that in your relationship, it may not be a significant factor, but in other people's relationships, depending on the belief system that they had deconverted from, it may be an absolute deal breaker. It may, like, that may be not only something that creates discomfort within the relationship as a result, but something that is not permitted by the religion.
Yeah.
So like the religion may put like a firm, I mean, it sounds like you guys are able to work it out, and that like, and that's great, and just exist with having different belief systems, and that's awesome.
My parents don't approve. Her parents don't approve.
You two are the only ones that matter.
Problems, but
yeah, but you guys matter to each other enough that you're willing to invest, and that's the only thing that matters. Well, your relationship doesn't belong to anybody else.
That's my summary is that individual relationships are complicated, so you shouldn't be so quick to make a judgment on, like, dump him right now.
Yeah, no, that's unhealthy. That's unhealthy. I agree with you. I agree with you. That's unhealthy. Like, just because you believe different things doesn't mean, well, that's it for us. We can't have a relationship anymore. That's called shunning, and that's not good. It's a bad way to behave. It's not good. It's us versus them, black and white thinking. The world
relationships are more interesting when there are differences.
I did have an additional question for Vice Rhino. I sent it super chat earlier, but I watch your videos and I really enjoy them, and they always seem very well researched. I know that historically you'd worked as a waiter, and I'm an undergraduate, pursuing a chemistry degree myself. I was interested to know if you were planning on pursuing a scientific education for yourself. If so, why? If not, why not?
It's definitely not off the table. I have a video that's all queued up, and it's coming out next Monday. No, the Monday after Christmas, whichever Monday. I don't know what the time is or what day it is anymore. But it's actually talking about my experience in a multi-level marketing thing. And part of that is I was in college for computer programming, and I dropped out in the last semester. And the MLM had a really big impact on that. And it's one of the biggest decisions of my life. Like, that's probably the one that I think of the most. Like, if I could go back in time and tell younger me to do something, it's like, don't get involved in the MLM, stay in college. It worked out okay for me in the end, but really, do I know that it worked out okay? Maybe I would be doing a lot better now if I'd have stuck with it. I don't know. And it bothers me. So going back to school for something science related is definitely not off the table. But the problem that I have now is that through researching different things for my channel, there's so many areas of science that I'm finding myself interested in that are like, okay, I could go and study this one, or I could go and study that one. Like, which one do I go to? And I know, like, if I go for biology, I know there's a lot of like molecular pathways and crap like that just do not interest me whatsoever. Like, biology was always my least favorite science in school. So I don't think I would go for biology, even though I do kind of enjoy the macro stuff. I always liked physics. But I would maybe want to do something that's relevant to my channel. So I think I don't know. I might even go for geology, which is I didn't like geology when I first started my channel, but like now I like just over here. It's buried under like 15 other books, so I'm not going to grab it now. But like I have a geology textbook that I reference on a regular basis, and like I'm actually finding myself enjoying geology, and I want, like, every time I get into it, I'm like, I want to know more about how this works. Like, come on, like, and it's hard for me to find it sometimes. So, like, it's not off the table, but it's not on the table. Like, there's no immediate plans for that at the moment. And you mentioned historically, I worked at a restaurant. I became a casual employee just recently, which means that they schedule me when they need me, and I lose all my seniority and all that. And just yesterday was my last shift, and they informed me that because of new COVID restrictions and stuff like that, I probably don't have any more shifts until like March or April, at least. And if I'm honest, I'm not sure if I'm going to go back.
Congratulations.
So, yeah. So, I hope I can go back.
Tech. I hated being a pharmacy tech, and I had a class that was one of these BS classes that you have to get to fill your degree requirement. And one of the things that they had to do was like write out your goals, like what you were doing and what you were trying to accomplish, like why you were trying to get a degree anyway. And I wrote down that I will never have to work as a pharmacy tech again. And the moment that I wrote that, oh my gosh, I felt so liberated. I felt so free. I was, Anyway, personal bias, I wish you'd pursue chemistry. I think it's a great undergraduate degree. You can go on to geology afterwards for a graduate program if you'd like. But I definitely relate because, family man, I worked really hard. I felt like I was underappreciated, and I went back to school, and, hopefully, we can both have a lot of success, in our future endeavors.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for calling.
Thank you very much for calling.
All right,
have a good rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for checking out this clip for The Line. While you're here, hit that like button, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and then share this with that bitter uncle of yours who loves talking about the good old days.